Greetings, this is Tariq Scott, Human Development Mentor, Independent Researcher, and Brands Manager for Romance and Finance. In this video, I'm going to take on the 10 most frequently asked questions women have to forming a power couple. Before we get into that, we would like to say thank you to you and the entire community that has given us so much great feedback via emails and texts, and I'm really excited to answer your questions, comments, and concerns. We want to add more clarity about how you can either find your power couple partner or convert the relationship that you're currently in to a power couple so that you and your mate can enjoy successful careers, be politically and socially influential, and make a difference in your family and community's lives. This is the greatest time to address this because many successful black women are feeling down with their current relationships or lack thereof. What's success without someone special to share it with? Or worse even, what's success in the midst of misery? But to counter that, I can share with you one thing, and that's in the midst of mass dissatisfaction is always the beginning of change. And that's the change that we would like to share with you at Romance and Finance. We want to build that new state of relationships, the black power couple, the new leaders of our community, the solution to your individual challenges, community issues, and as a whole nation can be addressed via the black power couple. Think about it. As a complete individual, you seek a partnership to strengthen the position that you already hold from a social, political, and financial standpoint. Your partner should make your life easier for you and vice versa. When that partnership forms a family, you have a vested interest in the school systems for your children, access to the healthiest foods for your family's well-being, security for your persons and property, and opportunity for upward mobility. When power couples of like minds come together on these issues, now you have a power base for real change in the world. It only takes a few to impact the many. I know that this may have been a little too deep for some listening because this is supposed to be about how to get a man and form a power couple. But what's the true showing of power if the end goal isn't something greater than ourselves? Romance and Finance provides a systematic approach to forming a power couple. And guess what? What we've been sharing over the past few free video series is only the tip of the iceberg. Soon we're going to share with you how you can access the official Romance and Finance program where you'll learn things like the 6 fundamentals to forming a power couple, or the 19 attributes of a power couple, or the Romance and Finance definition of marriage. And ladies, I know a lot of you really want to know this. And in the program, we discuss where to find the right male and also the 5-step system to verifying the right mate. So we cover that and so much more in the Romance and Finance official program. Okay, now before we get into our 10 most frequently asked questions, I want to do the fun thing, which is love and hip hop versus romance and finance. So now for those of you that watch reality TV, you're familiar with the Love and Hip Hop show where it features women who are mainly in relationships with men that are in the hip hop music industry community. Now, the 3 characters whose relationships we're going to focus on today are Chrissy, Emily, and Kimbella. And if you're not familiar with the show, you can still follow along because the points that will be made will be very relevant whether you're familiar with the show or not. The point of this exercise is to apply some of the strategies that we've learned during the Romance and Finance free video series to some real life situations. And we're going to use these women's lives that are on this reality show as a prototype. Now, let's make a disclaimer. We do not know these women personally at Romance and Finance or their relationship situations outside of what's shown on the show. So please understand this is for educational purposes only and not to offend anyone. Now, the 3 strategies that we're going to apply to each one of their relationships are the strategies taught in video number 1, which was called Man Model One-on-One. And these 3 strategies are Man DNA, Man Construction, and Man Vision. So Man DNA again analyzes what motivates the man to be in a power couple relationship. Man Construction identifies how to project your unique qualities based on what you understand his desires to be, so that you can stand out amidst competition and form a bond with him. And then ultimately, we have Man Vision, which is aligning your higher ideals with your man's higher ideals to create a purposeful power couple. So now let's go through Man DNA as it applies to Chrissy and Jim. And Jim Jones is a known rapper and music executive. So let's now think about this. Has Chrissy identified what it is that motivates Jim? And I would say yes. She understands that Jim wants to be as successful as possible in the entertainment industry, and so she's put herself literally in the lane to assist him with that. One, with the reality show, because if you know the history of the show, it started off as a reality show that was built around him, and he didn't want his personal life to be on display, so they changed the show and built it around Chrissy. So that's one. Also in the show, you see at some point where he had an opportunity to develop a fashion line, and she was very proactive about stepping in and taking over and actually running it for him. So she has identified that he is trying to be successful in the music business, and she stepped in using her leadership qualities to assist him with that. Now we have Emily, who dates the rapper known as Fabulous, and it was quite evident from the show that Emily needed to start to identify who she was first, and she took the steps in doing that, and she started her own fashion line. But it seemed like it was all to possibly make Fabulous jealous, so it didn't seem like it was as much of a career move as it was a move to get him to respond, which in Man DNA, that's not the rule. The rule is to figure out what motivates him, and based on even his lack of appearance on the show and his lack of claiming her initially, I'm not sure that she's figured that out. Now to Kimbella and Joel Santana, who also is a rapper in the music industry. As far as Man DNA goes and her ability to analyze what would make him want to be in a relationship, of course we can tell that she failed at that, because at the end of the season, this season, she broke up with him due to the fact that she alluded to him not being able to commit. And so she has not figured out what motivates this man to get him to want to be in a power couple. Now, mind you, let's be clear. All men are not good men. So you may not need to find out what motivates him, because he may not be worth your time. So let's be clear on that. However, if you're going to endeavor the relationship, then you would want to find out what motivates him. So now into section 2 of Man Model 101, which is called Man Construction, and it's about identifying your unique qualities and how they can help your man achieve his vision. And I think I've already mentioned that Chrissy is a leader, and she has helped Jim with his businesses, his entertainment, as far as the fashion line and even the reality show. So Chrissy clearly has identified that she has a unique quality for Jim that holds him down. Emily, again, has not identified what her unique quality is, because she's using her gift in a way to make her man jealous. And that's not what you're not trying to find what can make him jealous so that he can respond. Because yes, a man will respond off of jealousy, but you're getting him to respond from his lowest sense of his human needs. And after he's over that, then it's back to business as usual. You want a man to respond from his higher human needs. And so that's why you need to figure out your unique qualities. And so on to Kimbella. Kimbella states that she's a good woman, which she may be. But when you define that, what does that mean as far as how does that appeal to the person that you want to form a power couple with? So in her case, either Joel's is not a good guy, good man that's worthy of her, and or she has not been able to identify her unique qualities and how they can assist him in achieving his goals. And again, I have to say this over and over again. If the man is not good, then none of this stuff doesn't matter. None of these strategies matter if you're trying to be in a relationship with a man who doesn't want to be in a relationship with you, or has behavior that is not conducive for a power couple. So So let's say that. Let's not use good or bad in reference to people, but let's talk about behavior. You have behavior that leads to success, and you have behavior that leads to failure. And you're either participating in either one of those types of behaviors. So remember, and I keep saying this because I don't want women to misunderstand what we're saying. We're not encouraging people to stay in relationships that are not good for you. We are saying that if your relationship is worth saving and you're in one, then these are some of the things that you may want to do or attempt to do to empower your relationship. Okay, so now we're on to man vision, which is aligning your higher ideals with your man's ideals. Now, Chrissy, at the end of season 2, she received a proposal from Jim Jones. This man asked this woman to marry him, which is a clear sign of their two visions being aligned so that they can form a purposeful power couple. This man has made his intentions known to her that he would like to legally and declare in front of the world their union, and so that they can officially move forward and forming the power couple. Now, Emily, on the other hand, she does say that Fabulous did respond. So Fabulous responded to her being on TV and the fame, and however, it didn't seem like he committed. So it seemed like it was still an open-ended situation, and he was responding from the lower end to what she was doing. So she did get her way, but ultimately there's no unified vision of their relationship at this point. And then Kimbella, at the end of the show, of course, her and Juelz broke up at the reporting of the end of the show due to him being unfaithful. So, of course, that's not the vision that she has, and we're not sure what his vision is, but obviously his vision is not a unified vision with her vision. So there you have it. You can see how these three things that we went over earlier in Man Model 101 can apply to real life examples, and really ask yourself, where do you fit in? Because you may be a Chrissy, a Emily, or a Kimbella. And sometimes it's easier for us to see ourselves in other people than it is to see ourselves in the mirror. All right, now let's go to the 10 most frequently asked questions in regards to romance and finance. Question number 1 is a great question, and we get asked this very often. Question number 1 is, why the need for a power couple? I don't need a man to validate me. And you're right. You need to validate yourself first. And we went through that in Man Model 101. As a woman and as a man, you should come to the table as a complete person first. Two people do not validate each other. They empower each other. But in order to empower one, you have to come to the table with power. So you're right. And if you choose not to be in a relationship with a man, that is your prerogative. That's your option. This program is for women who want to be a part of an empowering couple. So if that's not your desire at this point, then by all means, that's your option. We are not saying that women need to be in a relationship. In fact, we are clear when we say that this program is not for everyone. The concept of a power couple is not a universal concept. It's a concept that is specifically for two people who want to be in this type of relationship. You can be just as successful and great as an individual. So we're not saying that by no means. However, if you're seeking to be in a power couple and you want to either enrich the relationship that you're already in, or you're seeking that power couple mate, then this is the program for you. Okay, question number 2. Are you saying that black women need to submit to black men by finding out how their unique qualities can complement their man's? No, not at all. We're not saying that this is a submission process. We're actually saying that you need to be able to empower your man, and he also needs to be able to empower you. And this particular series is directed towards the women, and in the future we will have one that's directed towards the men also, and we will let them know that their unique qualities needs to be able to enhance their women's also. But right now we're talking to women, and in a business relationship we did not mention anything about submission. Remember, again, our model is a business approach to a relationship. So in this approach, we mention nothing about submission. We mention about empowerment. So you have to come to the table empowered. Finding your unique qualities is about what empowers yourself and how you can empower someone else. Because a lot of times we approach relationships with our hands out, looking for what's in it for me. And that is important. That's very important. However, you also have to know and understand what you're able to give. Because when you understand what you're able to give, you don't settle. Because you know your value. You know what you're able to do for a man in a relationship. Here is our third question, which we get asked a lot also. Is romance and finance only for black couples? Should black women consider dating outside of their race? Great question. Romance and finance can be for anyone. So the principles can be used by anyone. Now, it's our intent to form 1,000 black power couples. So we do have an intent for that. Our direct purpose is for that. And we are speaking directly to black women. However, the principles are universal. So it's not only for black couples, but we are encouraging the formation of black couples due to the state of the black community. Now, as far as the second part of that question, should black women consider dating outside of other races? As you've heard me say throughout this free series, love is unconditional, relationships aren't. So as far as who you fall in love with, there's no condition in this world that can state who you would fall in love with. So you can fall in love with any type of person that you fall in love with. However, the condition of a relationship, when that exists, as it pertains to the formation of a power couple, we have to ask ourselves, can two people from two separate races form a power couple? Now, one, I would ask for any examples of that. I tried to think of examples of that in my own immediate circle and in the national and worldwide stage, and I could not think of any examples that showed me that two people from two separate races formulated a power couple, whether they be entertainers, political, religious. I couldn't think of it. Perhaps you can, and if you can think of an example of that, please share that with us. Now, with that said, if the ultimate intention of forming a black power couple and then uniting black power couples is to empower the black community as a whole, my question becomes, because I'm asking the question back now, because I really don't have an answer. I have some thoughts, but my question becomes, would another man of another race have that intent for empowering the black community? Would they understand that intent? That's a question. I won't answer it. Let's discuss it. But we will say that our intentions are for black couples to come together. So that's our intention. We're not discriminating against other couples, but our intentions are to form black power couples. Okay, but if you are of mixed race or interracial couples and this information can help you, which it's universal and we know it can, then by all means allow it to help you. Woo, y'all have given us some great questions. All right, question number 4. Why just a power couple? What about power polygamy? Whoa, that's a good one. And I've been hearing the conversation of polygamy come up ever since the conversation of successful black women being single has been a main topic of discussion. Okay, let's just say this. We as a community and as building families are in a very dire situation. So I say this. Let's start with something simple first. A man and a woman need to understand how to get along with each other first before we start adding in additional partners. So that's a common sense answer, and it's in as we apply our common sense to business practices. Before you form a partnership as a business, you want to get your own business straight before you enter into a partnership. And then when you merge with another business, you need to get that type of business situation straight. If you're unable to successfully partner with one person, then how can you add other partners in? So let's just be practical about this. And I'm not going to really go into any specific thoughts about polygamy at this point, but let's just be practical. Let us first figure out how to do 1-on-1 first. And after we do 1-on-1 great, then this topic of polygamy could come back on the table for a greater number of people. So that's our approach to it. We're not saying no or yes to polygamy. We're saying let's master the art of 1-on-1 first, and then we can entertain any other systems of business as it pertains to relationships. Man, y'all got me in the hot seat today, but I love it because these are so great and profound questions. Okay, so we're at question number 5. Is the concept of a black power couple classist? I'm going to answer that question with a yes and a no. Yes, we are trying to create a class of people. And again, we say that the black power couple from Romance and Finance is not for everyone. However, we're not exclusive. We're very inclusive. If this is something that you want to endeavor, then we encourage you to do it. We're not exclusive. We're not saying that only certain people can do it. We are saying complete people should do it. People who want to be financially stable and powerful, politically, socially, these are people that would want to endeavor this. So it's based on your wants. We're not excluding anyone. We are including everyone who fits the criteria. And we also are basing this on W.E.B. Du Bois's theory of the talented 10th. With Mr. Du Bois, the talented 10th dealt with black males being a leadership class in the African American community. And with Romance and Finance, we want to create black power couples who become the leadership class in the black community. Now, we realize that every black couple or individual does not want to be a leader or be led. And again, that is your choice. That's your prerogative. However, we do know and understand that there are individuals who would like to be leaders of their communities, of themselves. And so this is what this program is created for. Okay, question 6. Why a business approach to relationships? Doesn't that take away love? Well, no. We do believe that you should love the person that you are in the relationship with. So we're not excluding love, because love will actually be that feeling that will help you endeavor the low times, which happens in any relationship or any business. Because if you're in a business, businesses have their highs, businesses have their lows, and people that are in business that don't love the business that they're in, when there's a low time, they're ready to quit. So no, we do encourage love. However, we're saying that you don't have to guess at this. You don't have to freestyle this. There are systematic strategies that have proven to work. And if someone can give me a map to where I'm trying to go, I want to take the map. Okay, question number 7. What's love got to do with it? Shouldn't we just look for a person who's best to be in business with in regards to relationships? Well, no. Again, going back to the last question, you want to have that feeling of love. We don't want to have relationships devoid of love, because part of the problem, there are people who have entered into relationships only based on a criteria of what's in it for them. But you have to have a love for yourself first, and a love for the person that you're with, because you're committing to a lifetime bond, a lifetime of fulfilling each other's dreams, not just what's in it for you. So you want to have that feeling of love. Love is that fire and desire that will take you higher. Yes, I quoted a song, but that song is deep. And when you're dealing with business or relationship, you want that passion that will get you through the hard time. Because a person can look good on paper, but if you don't love them, then it's not going to work. Because there's always going to be problems. There's always going to be some level of adversity. This system is not a system of perfection. It's a system that, if consistently works, it leads you down a road to success. But there's trial and measure. And in order to endeavor the trial, you have to have some love. Okay, question number 8. Are you saying that I can change my man? No, we are not suggesting that you can change the nature of anyone. Change only comes when that individual is ready for change. So if you're in a relationship and it's not the way that you want it to go, then you cannot change the person. You can change yourself though. That's the first thing, and that's why we have this system where you assess yourself first. And that's the important part of the system, that we deal with you assessing who you are first. Knowing yourself, knowing what your own personal desires are, and standing in a position of power of being yourself. And then understanding your personal unique qualities and how they can help that individual. But if your unique qualities can help that man, it can help any other man. You don't want to attempt to try to change anyone but yourself if need be. And you have to know yourself first to know where you're going. So no, this is not a system of changing an individual, but two individuals can come together and change their situation if they're willing. Okay, this next question, number 9, is a good question. What about the black men who want white women or other races? I will ask this question as I did previously. Name me a interracial couple that is a power couple. Now this time the dynamic is black man to white woman. So if you can name me that couple, then I'll say okay. The reason why I'm asking this question is because we're not talking about any man. So if there's a man of means who desires to be with a white woman, then my suggestion is he may not be looking for a power couple. That's my suggestion. Now, I am open to correction if someone can point out where a black man is married to a woman of another race, and that's a power couple. So my point is, you're not looking for the man who is not looking for you. And that's why it's important for you to first find your unique qualities and for you to stand in your purpose, because when you do that, you will attract that which is for you. And we say this in business. Instead of being the bee buzzing around from flower to flower searching for pollen, be that flower that will bloom and attract the bees. The bees are searching for something. So I'd rather be the flower than the bee hopping from flower to flower. So when you're that flower, when you understand who you are, what your desires are, and you're being yourself, and you understand your unique qualities, then you will attract the man that wants you, and you don't have to worry about the man that doesn't want you. And that goes for you personally, and that goes for men who prefer to date other women of other races. All right, so now we're at question number 10. Last but not least, what's next? I'm ready for this romance and finance program, and I want to join in forming the 1,000 black power couples for the year 2012. Okay, well, this is what's next. You'll get an email from me in a day inviting you to join us on a conference call with the creator of Romance and Finance, Hotep. And you'll actually hear a clip from the actual official Romance and Finance program. And then I'll interview Hotep, and he will answer direct questions about the Romance and Finance program and how you can become a part of the couples forming the 1,000 Black Power couples for 2012. So look out for that email, and we will see you once again. My name is Tariq Scott. This has been Romance and Finance. And remember, love is unconditional, but relationships aren't. So let's get our relationships right. Peace.